fluff belongs on a sandwich, not in a video. Here are 5 creative ways to start a meeting. I bet you've never heard or done any of these 5 ways, and with a little bit of adaptation, I'm confident that they can fit your context, whether you're an intact team that's worked together for 100 years, or you're brand new, showing up to a conference and you've never met anybody before. These 5 ways will be able to be adapted and start your meeting off in a really fun, unique, memorable, and meaningfully connecting way. Some of the 5 will be geared toward remote virtual meetings, and some of them will be geared in person, and you can combine and adapt them to make them work in a hybrid setting as well. For these 5 ideas, I'm going to be using as a tool or a template these We Connect sticker name tags that I created. It's 150 stickers with prompts that really put connection before content. So imagine meeting somebody and knowing their answer to, I'm curious about blank, and then finding out their name. It's like a teleportation into connection. So whether you don't know a group or you know them really well, imagine everybody coming in and you have a table and there's name tags set out, and you fill out your name tag, and the instructions are, typically you would put it on your shirt and that would be it. But what if the instructions were fill out your name tag and drop it in a fishbowl, or fill out your name tag, leave the sticker back on and drop it in a fishbowl. And then the idea is you pass this around a room real quick and everybody just grabs a name at random and you say to the group, you have 30 seconds as quickly as possible in whatever way you can, get these name tags to the right people, go. This is probably boring in a group of 6, but if you had a group of 60, you can imagine the chaos and play and energy that would start a meeting with. It would still take less than 5 minutes, but you'd have people shouting their names, listening for their names, finding out that the challenge the person is trying to solve is how to manage their time or create work-life balance or whatever else, just for example. So there's a little bit of connection, but also this frenzy of playfulness and energy. So fill out a name tag, drop it in a fishbowl, everybody grabs somebody else's name tag. The goal is return the name tag to the person as quickly as possible, go. So the first way, if you're remote with a group, and I held up this prompt, a creative way, or a plain way would be to say, fill this out and drop it in the chat. The advanced creative way would be, go ahead and change your name on Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever else to your answer to this prompt. So all of a sudden everybody's name, my name goes digitally from being Chad to being, I am curious about space, and I'm just putting space there. All of a sudden now when people are in chats or submitting chats, they're in breakouts with each other, they see that little portal or window into connection, that curiosity provoking. In other words, it makes people curious. It's like an instant conversation starter that gives somebody a really easy low-hanging fruit to ask a question about and make a meaningful connection. So pulling off that prompt, let's say I show up to an event and I fill out the name tag. I'm trying to solve the challenge of boring name tags. And my name is Chad. And for 2 days at a conference summit symposium, I have this on the back of my lanyard or on my shirt. It's like the cool version of the lanyard and the boring version of the lanyard. So I've got this on my shirt. Sometime around the end, as a meeting facilitator, MC, host, you might invite people to create a connection wall simply by taking off their sticker, designating some wall or space, maybe even putting a sign up, and inviting everybody to put their name tag on a wall. Now, if you're in a really big group, you might invite people to put some contact form they're comfortable giving out, an email, a phone number, something else. And as a closing exercise, you can have people, as they're walking out of the room, find somebody that they'd really love to follow up with after the event. Take a picture of their name tag and walk out the door committed to actually following up with them and asking them a question based on what was there or what they talked about during the event. Okay, or you keep it on and you actually just do a question exchange. So I'm trying to solve the problem of boring name tags. So if you have people actually get up out of their seats, pair up with somebody they haven't met yet, and they ask a question rooted in their curiosity based on what they see on the other person's name tag, right? So somebody might pair up with me and say, can you tell me about a bad experience you've had with name tags? Or why does it matter that name tags are bad? Or whatever else, right? So it's the idea of inviting people to be curious about this person's name tag and just doing a question exchange for a few minutes. So they ask the person, their partner then asks them a question, and then they part ways and go find somebody new. So similar to a question swap, if you've ever used the We Connect cards, everybody gets a question card and answers the question, then they swap cards and pair up with somebody new. Same idea, except people are following their own curiosity based on what somebody's written here. Next one's super simple. You make filling out the name tags the official start. So instead of having people just fill them out however at the registration, at the start of an event or gathering, you have them on the center of the table or you hand them out and you say, the theme or the purpose of our gathering today is blank. Can you fill out your name tag with something specific and related to the theme and the focus of our time here together? So in other words, you make these all portals into good conversations that are also on topic and purposeful. The next idea uses the coloring system. So there's blue name tags, purple name tags, green name tags. You create your own color dot system if you're doing the DIY approach and just stealing these activity ideas. And you invite people to get into groups of 3, one of each color. Right, so get a green person in your group, a purple person in your group, and a blue person in your group, and have a discussion about blank. So you could have people talk about whatever. It doesn't have to necessarily be their name tags, just using these name tags as a way to group people up randomly. So you could say, get into a group of 4 purples, or 4 blues, or 2 blues, or a blue and a green, or not a matching. There's all sorts of ways that you can invite people to randomly pair up and sort so that you're getting people to mix cross-functional conversations. There's migration. Everybody's not just hanging out with the same people that they know and work with on a daily basis. Do you know why introverts don't like networking events? It's because there is no good template to jump into a good conversation. And so if you're hosting an event where you hope people connect with each other and network, you could use these name tags and prompts as a template for introducing. So set the culture in the beginning of like, hey, we got these name tags just to mix things up and meet people in a unique, more creative, perhaps more useful way. Can everybody just introduce themselves as their name tag says? Can you just say, hey, I'm Chad and I'm really curious about blank, or hey, I'm Caleb's behind the camera. Hey, I'm Caleb and I'm trying to solve the challenge of ... And just introduce yourself in that format. So it gives everybody a hook. It makes extroverts not talk so much and blather about themselves, and it also gives introverts a nice template to just drop into. And the idea is that I've structured and designed these prompts to be really easy transitions into a whole bunch of other things that people care about. And so the conversation flows a lot smoother. And then the last one, now I'm really reaching for ideas on how to use name tag. Draw your answer to the question. So I'm curious about, invite the group to draw a picture. There's enough white space here to do a little bit of a sketch of what they're curious about, and then pair up and invite people to guess what the heck they have drawn and have a little laughter and conversation with that. So a little bit more playful. Probably wouldn't do this in a room full of senior executives unless I wanted to get fired, and yet in a classroom context or where you want somebody to laugh and play, really love the idea to just have them practice their terrible art skills in the form of an answer to a question. And as my call to action for this video, I hope you never even consider thinking about going to buy We Connect sticker name tags, because they're awful. Have an awesome day. We Connect name tag stickers that create conversations that matter.